All right, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Okay. So I'm just doing a stream on the Arsenal game that just happened about 2 hours ago. It concluded 2 hours ago. I got a lot of thoughts. I can't lie. The main thing is I'm trying to be positive. I want to be fully positive and fully believe in us. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be positive. I'm going to be positive. The main thing I'm going to be positive about is the fact that we are moving through to the next round. We won, obviously, and we still have a chance at a trophy. And I think that this was a very nervy game, like I said in my title. But at the same time, we got the win. We absolutely got the win. There's a few. There's things. There's a lot of things I'm gonna be talking about. There's gonna be it's gonna be one of those streams. The first thing I want to talk about is Gabriel Martinelli. He came off halfway or like about maybe like 5-10 minutes into the second half. I think it was, about 10 minutes into the second half. I think it was like the 60. Or no, I think he came off. Yeah, about 10 minutes into the second half, he came off. He looked like he was injured at the end of the first half, right? He didn't even get back on the field before the ref blew the whistle. And then I see him back on the field in the second half, and I'm like, well, I don't know about that one, Mikel. Like this is the issue. Like, you can't just ask a player if he's doing okay. Because if you ask a player if he's doing okay, and it turns out he's not okay, obviously, as a player, you want to play. You don't want to not play, so they're gonna lie. A lot of players lie about these things, bro. So I wasn't entirely happy with Mikel. Allowing Martinelli to get back in. I can't lie. I just thought like you just gotta like sometimes just don't listen to these players, man. Clearly, like listen to the physios, But that was my opinion on it. But regardless, I wasn't fully happy about it. I hope Martinelli is okay. From what I see here, look, breaking Martinelli's injured and walking off. So he was walking off. This is according to foot.africa.com. Not the most reliable source, but this is the only source I was able to find on it. I've not heard Mikel Arteta talk about this, but Yeah, I mean, it looks like Martinelli has another injury. I mean, yeah, Arteta really didn't talk about it. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous. Like, I hope he's okay. Um, I hope nothing major from this injury because, like, you need healthy players to be able to make it, and it sucks that we have this congested, um, you know, schedule, and it's tough on the players. But at the same time, it just sucks. What can Mikel do? Maybe rotate the players more. I don't know. It sucks. We're just gonna have to wait to see. I think it's still too early, but it looks like it is an injury. I do hope that Gabriel Martinelli feels better. It's not something that's too bad, or where he misses like games. I hope so, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, but that was like the main thing I really wanted to get on. Gabriel Martinelli was phenomenal in the game before that injury, which really sucks because he was at it, man. He was going at it. He was going that fullback was in deep trouble. Whenever Martinelli was on the ball, that fullback was scared. Martinelli was going at him all the time. So it really sucks that he was it seemed like he was kind of getting comfortable, kind of getting in his vibe, and then for that to happen, that really sucks. But it is what it is. But that's sort of kind of like a negative. But to talk more on a positive, look, I've always criticized Arteta because it seems like once we score a goal, we are happy to just have that lead instead of keep going more and more because he's so afraid that if we do keep going, that there's a possibility that we would concede. But the issue is that we still concede even when we try to sit back, which is a little bit nerve-wracking because consider the fact that a lot of people consider us to have the best defense in Europe. We conceded to Wolves sitting back. We've conceded to Crystal Palace sitting back. So there's a lot of like, hey, we're still conceding goals sitting back. Why not just go forward and get that second goal? So you don't put yourself in the situation like in Wolves, or you put yourself in that situation against Crystal Palace, right? Like, if I'm being honest, we got lucky even against Everton. Like, Everton's attack is so terrible that thankfully we were able to get away with it. I truly think Everton's attack was worse than Wolves' attack. But Crystal Palace's attack is better than both those two teams. So, you sit back, you invite the pressure. They're going to find a way to score. They are. So, we gotta do better. We have to do better. Yeah, I truly think, in my opinion, that Arteta's he's got to let him know, hey, be smart, but still go for it, right? You gotta still go for it. A single goal lead is no longer safe in football. Like, I remember, like, the 1-0 to the Arsenal, right? George Graham, 1980s, early 1990s Arsenal, where we were winning games 1-0 and winning titles and winning cups 1-0. I don't know if that's enough these days, man. People are talking about 2-0. 2-0 is one of the most, nerve-wracking scoreline in football. So what is 1-0, right? 1-0 is pretty much nothing. It's not enough. And I understand we have a good defense, and but we're still conceding goals. So how good can that defense be? So that's just my opinion on it. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. So, Crystal Palace is a really good team. Like, they're a really good team, okay? I understand that a lot of people say they were banged up. They had just played a conference league game, I think, last week. And then obviously they played against Leeds. I understand. Look, I'm going to take the positive route. I understand people are going to say, look, this team lost to Leeds. This Crystal Palace team did lose to Leeds 4-1. And they played a European League game where I think they tied against them, if I'm not mistaken. But you got to remember that it's football. Their goalkeeper prevented us from scoring at least 3 chances. Okay? 3 chances that were right there. I mean, the save he had on Gabriel Jesus' header was great. It was phenomenal. Like there's nothing you can do. Everything was perfect about it. Cross comes in, Jesus heads it, keeper saves it. Beautiful save. Nothing you can do, right? I think that the Naughty Madueke one, he could have placed it a little bit better. He went for power. He thought maybe he could just get it past the keeper before he brings his arms. But the keeper did. The keeper was having a night. And I think that that's the reason why we didn't score more goals. And that's why we didn't pump them like 2-3 now, right? Or 3-1 or 4. So I understand that. I will hold my hands up and say that our offense wasn't terrible. It was just that their defense and their keeper was on it. So these are one of those gritty games where you have to like you gotta just toughen it out. And that's what we did. Now obviously when the penalty shootout started and Kepa was like not getting he was guessing the wrong way every single time. I was a little nervous. I can't lie. But if you look at all the penalty kicks from Arsenal players, man, every one of them was confident. Everyone was placed perfectly. I mean, you clearly could tell that they work on these drills. So I'm not gonna go too hard on these players. I honestly think this was a really good test of a game. Now, the only issue that I did have was the fact that after we scored our goal, we didn't keep going and we kind of seemed to sit back. When you do that, it invites pressure, which is a huge problem. So that's the only issue that I had. I thought we could have gone a little bit more at Crystal Palace for sure. But regardless, that was a good result in the fact that it was a close game. We gritted it out and we won. Sometimes to win trophies, you have to have games like this. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I think, against Chelsea, we'll up our level. We'll get better. We'll do what we need to do against Chelsea for sure. I think we will. It does suck that, we couldn't win it in regular time. Go for it, right? Do it. But yeah. Arteta should have brought Yak on. Yeah, I don't know what. Look, okay. I'll be honest with you. Whether you're an Arteta out fan or Arteta in, if you love him, you hate him, whatever, you cannot deny that Arteta is pretty stubborn. The man has the people he's going to bring on, and there's nothing to change that. He did not bring on Gyökeres once. He brought on Declan Rice, but didn't bring on Gyökeres, which I was a bit shocked because I thought that he would bring Gyökeres on, and Gyökeres, will kind of give us like a little bit of an outlet, I guess. I know he's not been playing the best, but I mean, he is a striker. Some of those, like, balls that Martinelli was putting in, I thought Gyökeres could have easily headed them in. But he didn't bring on Gyökeres. Is it to give him rest because we're playing Villa? Are we playing Villa? No, I think we're playing Brighton, are we? Let me look at our schedule real quick. Yeah, so we're playing Brighton. Maybe he's resting Gyökeres so he can play that game. I don't know. We'll see. He did rotate pretty heavily. But yeah. I was a bit, I thought he could have brought him on, but. Yeah. Waneri is being done dirty by Arteta. Look, that's also an issue we gotta talk about. No, honestly, we're having the conversation right now. Ethan Waneri. No. There was a negative about this game that I absolutely believe that needs to really be taken into fully. This is a serious matter. Ethan Waneri last season. Let's see how many goals. Let's see his GA last season, right? Because it's all about GAs. Let's look at it. Because something is going on. No, seriously, something is going on. We need to talk about it. Ethan Waneri last season had 3 goals in the Carabao Cup, this competition we're playing in. He had 4 goals in the Premier League. That's 7. And he had 2 goals in the Champions League. That's 9. On top of 2 assists that he had. That's 11 GA last season as a 17-year-old. He was 17 doing this. What is going on? No, seriously, what is going on? Is it disciplinary? Then come out and say that. Say, look, it's something we're working on behind closed door. It's just dead silence. This guy was going to be a star at Arsenal. Him and Miles Lewis-Skelly. And we were talking about Ethan Waneri, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and Max Dowman as like the big 3 stars on our club. But yet now Ethan Waneri cannot even get 10 minutes, 15 minutes game time. What is going on? Why? What is going on between Mikel Arteta and Ethan Waneri? Because this kid had 11 GA last season as a 17-year-old. All the Arsenal fans were hyping him up. We're like, he's our next star boy. He's the next Saka. He's the next this. He's the next that. He's the next that. Now, the man's not even getting a run in a Carabao Cup game at home. Like, what is going on? Ethan Waneri was due to injuries, by the way. I understand it was due to injuries. But he was playing good. The guy was playing against Champions League PSV. He was playing against PSV. He was playing against Girona. He was playing against Brighton. Why can Ethan Waneri not get a chance in this squad? Especially with all our rotation needs, our injuries. He has to be able to get a chance on this team. Because the guy is too talented to just be used as some little bench player that you play in a blowout game for the last 5 minutes. I was thinking in about 2 years, Ethan Waneri could easily be a starter for us. Truly. In big games. Whether it was a attacking midfielder or a right wing. Or even a false 9, some people were saying. But now, the guy cannot get a run of games. What is like, seriously, what is going on? No, no. I'm not having any of it because one thing is that we do not disrespect our academy players. Okay, you don't disrespect your academy players. That's they play for the badge. They've gone through the system. They play for the badge. They know what it is to be an Arsenal fan, like all of us. Ethan Waneri is an Arsenal fan, just like you, just like all the Arsenal fans out there. He has done everything he can in the academy, rose through the ranks, and has played beautiful on the first team last season. And now all of a sudden, he cannot get a start against Brighton. He cannot get a start against like what is going, like, honestly, he doesn't, he, instead of bringing on Ethan Waneri, you bring on Declan Rice. Instead of starting Ethan Waneri, you're starting Mikel Merino and Christian Norgard in the midfield. Like, what is going on? There's multiple positions Ethan can play. He can play in the 8. He can play out in the wing. You've got... He is being done so dirty by Arteta. Absolutely, Rolex. Like, he is. There has to be an issue. Seriously. There has to be a reason why. And Arteta has to at least give us something. If it's disciplinary, just say, look, there's something going on. You know, it's being handled closed door or something. Because as a fan of Ethan Waneri and this club, I understand that the club comes first. I understand that. But you cannot sit there and tell me that Ethan Waneri cannot play a game in the Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace at home. Come on, man. Even for, like, if you play him for 45 minutes in the first half, and if he stinks up the place, you could take him off and put on Mikel Merino or Declan Rice or whoever. You heavily rotate the side. Right? You have Kepa in goal. You've got Miles Lewis-Skelly as a left back. You've got Mikel Merino as the 8. Norgard as the 6. You've got, Gabriel Jesus as a striker. You can't tell me you couldn't put Ethan Waneri as, like, the 8 ahead of Mikel Merino. Like, there's... Or even if he doesn't start, throw him in for the last 10 minutes of a game. But it's not even like this game specifically, right? If people said, look, you know, we hadn't scored a goal, we were still trying to get the game winner, whatever. I understand people might say, oh, you know, Ethan doesn't try bad, blah, blah, blah. We're not trying to lose this game. Which I think is still unfair because Ethan does do his fair share of work. Yes, he may not play defensively good, but that's why you have defenders. He's not a defender, right? But regardless, right? When was the last time Ethan Waneri played? Okay, in the Carabao Cup, he's got 2. He's played 2 games. He scored a goal. In the Premier League, he's played 6 matches. In total, we've played, 17? He's played 6. That's less than half of the matches he's featured in, whether it's a sub or a starter. UEFA Champions League, okay, he's played 3. How many minutes has he played this season? Right here. Ethan Waneri has played 165 minutes. Look, you think I'm lying? Look at this. Ethan Waneri has played 165 minutes in the Premier League, all as a sub, so he's never started. and I believe 180 minutes in the EFL Cup. That's it. Last season, he had 889 PL Premier League minutes. It's crazy. It's mad disrespectful. Nah, that's mad disrespectful. They are doing Ethan Waneri so damn dirty, bruh. Why? Why? Are you disciplining him? Okay, if Ethan Waneri, you don't want him in the squad, maybe he's not doing what you want, whatever, then loan him. Send him to Crystal Palace. Send him to Brighton. If you don't want to move him too far off, send him to Fulham. There's plenty of London teams. Just don't send him to Chelsea. Please. Because they will do that. They will do that bull crap of trying to sign him. Send him. Yeah. Send Ethan Waneri to another London club, or to a different league. I don't know. Let the man get some game time. He is not getting any game time in this squad. Now, people might say, "Oh, it's the squad. It's hard to fit him in." Brother, we had so many injuries like a month ago, and he was barely getting a run of game. So what's the excuse then? I don't know. I think we're doing him dirty. Arteta's doing him so dirty, bro. You gotta let him go on loan, cause he needs playing time. He's got to develop his game. This kid could easily make the England squad. By the way, I believe he could make it. I thought this season he would have. I thought he would have been a big part of our season. He clearly is talented. He's a very skillful player. Let him get a run of games. Especially the FA Cup. If we make it deep into if we get good results, like a good a draw in the FA Cup, you gotta let him play some games. If not, then loan him. Loan him to somewhere. I don't know. What club you have a good relationship with. Let him get some playing time in his boots. Because you had him sign a new contract, right? He's got a new contract. Why? So to not play him? To leave him on the bench? Why? And that's criminal. That's very criminal. I love Ethan. I thought he was a very good player for us last season. And to be left on the bench for these kind of games, to be behind Mikel Merino in midfield or Norgard, you gotta play Ethan Waneri or send him to a different club. Don't do Ethan Waneri dirty like that, please. He has way too much skill to be on the bench as an unused sub every single game. You gotta let Ethan play. He's gotta play. You can't. It's disrespectful. It is. If the kid he's quiet. He seems very humble. I don't know what it could possibly be that he doesn't give him a run of games. I don't know. All right, we're gonna do player ratings. Okay, we're gonna start off with Kepa. All right, Kepa. How many shots on target did they have? Okay, they had 6 shots in total, 2 on target, and they scored one of them. So not the best look for Kepa. But I can't really say the goal was his fault. It was just shaky defending from us. I'm gonna give Kepa a 6 out of 10. He saves the penalty. Obviously it was not looking good when he kept diving out of the way, but he did save the penalty. We're through to the next round. I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I thought he was pretty good today. There was a few times he did get cut on the ball, but for the most part, he was progressing. He was trying to take some shots. He was pretty solid. I'll probably give him a 6.5 out of 10. I thought he was pretty solid today. Ricardo Calafiore, phenomenal player. I in my opinion, I would play Calafiore as a center back and play Hincapie as a left back. I think you switch them. I truly think you should switch them. You switch them. I think you'll find a formula if you do that. I say switch them. That's just my opinion, though. Ricardo Calafiore, I'm gonna give you a 7 out of 10. I'll say the same for Saliba too. He was pretty solid. That's a really good partnership. A lot of chemistry. I just feel like Calafiore looks a lot better as a center back than a left back compared to Hincapie, who I think is a better left back than center back. I don't know. I think if you switch them and play them like that, you'll find a good formula. Saliba's a 7 out of 10. Jurrien Timber, I don't know. It was a weird one from Jurrien. Like, he wasn't the worst defensively. He did get caught on the ball a couple times. He lost it a couple times. There was a couple times where he just passed it to the opposing player. A few times where I thought he could have scored or shot the ball and he didn't get it. He didn't get a good shot on it. Jurrien Timber, I feel like he's just played so many games in the past couple months that he just looks fatigued by the end of the match. I mean, he looked really tired. But I'll still give him a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5.5 out of 10. Just above average, I'd say. All right, the midfield. We will start with Mikel Merino, because we're going to leave this one for last. Mikel Merino. He had a really good pass. I think it was the first half that he passed it to. Was it Eze? He passed it to. That was a really good pass. But aside from that, that's all I really saw from Mikel Merino. He was the captain. I'll be honest. I saw him more on the floor, being pushed around by the Crystal Palace players than I saw him on the ball doing like anything with it. The man rolls around on the grass way too much at times. I'm like, dude, you got to get up, dude. This is a little embarrassing. You're like 6'3". How are you getting pushed over by this like 5'10" guy that weighs less than you? Like, lock in. I'm gonna give him a 5.5 out of 10. I don't think he was that good. He didn't really do anything. Christian Norgard. I thought Christian Norgard was really good today. I thought he was really, really good. Like, he's, I was a little nervous about him being a defensive, like our backup defensive midfielder if Zubimendi ever gets injured and we can't play Rice. But he wasn't that bad, in my opinion. I thought he was pretty solid. I would give him a 6. About a 6. Maybe a 6.5 out of 10. I'll say a 6. A 6 out of 10 for Norgard. Pretty solid. Did his duties. Made some good tackles. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10 actually for Norgard. Yeah. Eberichi Eze. Eze. What's going on, brother? You drop a hat trick against Tottenham, and everybody's like, let it all work out. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. We're singing. Look. I have a friend, he's an atheist. He started reading the Bible because of Eze. Deadass. He's an Arsenal fan. He said I was an atheist. But Eze made me start reading the Bible. I was like, Good for you, brother. Now, the past month, he has not picked up the Bible since. I was like, why? He's like, man, Eze, you know, Eze's hype died. The man has gone missing. Where is Eze? Do you remember that game we used to play as a kid? Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Where's Eze? No, seriously. Where's he gone? Where's Eze? Like, there's parts of the game where I'm like, where's Eze, bro? Where's number 10? Oh, there he is. He's just strolling around. He lost the ball. There was a time period in the first half. He lost the ball like 4 times in a row. I was like, oh, bro. What's going on? Where is your impact on the game? Where is your impact on a game? I can't lie. I can't lie, man. We looked a little bit better when Odegaard came in. I can't lie. I can't lie. Odegaard, we looked a little bit better when Odegaard was in versus Eze. But like, that's the thing with Eze. He all he does is play for the moments, right? He plays for the moments, and when there's not a moment, he's just there, you know. He's just strolling around. You get the ball, pass it back. That's it. Pass it here. Yeah. He's like the nonchalant final boss, bruh. I don't want to try too hard, you know. Maybe there's some girls out on the stands or something. Like, bro, you're playing for Arsenal FC. This is literally the club that you grew up supporting. Where is the drive? Why are you playing like football's your second love? He's playing so nonchalant. Where is Eze? I have not sang Let It All Work Out in like a month since the Tottenham game. When was that, like a month ago? Come on, man. I understand. I'm not expecting you to score a goal or have an assist every single game. I understand that. But I am expecting you to impact the game somehow, man. Drive at them, you know, do something to disrupt their defense. I wasn't seeing it. It wasn't like he was bad. It's just sometimes I feel like I just don't see Eze a lot. I see all these other players, but I just don't see Eze. He's like that one player that can go missing. You know? Where is Eze? 5 out of 10 for Eze, man. How did we look better when Odegaard came in? We looked so much better when Odegaard came in. Bro, you gotta stop with this nonchalant boss thing, bro. You know what I mean? You play for Arsenal. Be chalant. Go. Play with your heart out. Look, I don't know if it's just he's getting gassed out or just getting tired from how many games he's had to play. It could be that. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. But sometimes I'm like, Eze, I love you, but brother, you gotta have some fire in your heart. Yeah, see, look, yeah, right, sir. Eze is too, he's too nonchalant all the time. It's irritating as hell. Facts. Someone needs to wake him up. Facts. Like, no offense to Eze, man. You know, I still love you. Still happy we have you instead of Tottenham, the little shits over there. But regardless, brother, you gotta impact the game more. You are attacking midfielder. I need a little bit more from you, man. Where's Eze? Where's Waldo? Where's Eze? You know? Yeah, he's just disappearing too much in games. You are a big signing. You're a big creative signing. I need you to do something. You know? I'm watching the game. You're playing 65 minutes. I'm trying to think of a moment that you did that truly was wow, you know? I can't think of any. I watched the whole game. He's strolling around the park, you know. He tries to do a little flick on. It doesn't work. Then he jogs back as Crystal Palace is pushing us. It's like, dude, you gotta have some fire in your heart. Fire. This is apparently the club that you supported when you were a little kid. You're an Arsenal fan. Play like you're happy that you're here. Why are you so nonchalant? You know, someone does need to wake him up, man. It's so, like when we first got Eze, and especially after the Tottenham game, I can't lie. I was like, man, this guy might kick Odegaard out of the starting 11. I don't think that's happening. I truly think Odegaard's going to be our starting creative midfielder. And we looked a lot better when Odegaard was in than Eze. I can't even lie to you. No offense. But, yeah, Eze 5 out of 10, man. Wake up. All right? We are no longer singing Let It All Work Out. You need to wake up. Play with a little fire in your heart. I think Eze needs to be a player who comes on as a sub to impact the game rather than starting. By coming on as a sub, I think he'll put more serious effort in and try to make an impact. I think so too. And like I did have a friend, he's a Crystal Palace fan. He said, you know, we don't as Crystal Palace, they don't play that many games a season, right? They're usually out of the cup competitions early. You know, they don't play Europe. I mean, this is the first season they're playing Europe, I think, ever. So maybe that's what, like, he thinks that Eze is getting gassed out, having to play, like, you know, 2 times a week, 100 and, you know, whatever minutes that he plays during that week. So could it be that? It could be. I don't know. But regardless, man, he's going to probably have to come off the bench and maybe come in like the, I don't know, 60th minute, 65th minute. And try to impact the game that way. But as a starter, he frustrates me so much. I'm like, dude, like, you're an Arsenal fan. You're playing for Arsenal. Like, act like you want to be here. You know? Like where's the fire in your heart? Anyway, I'm giving Eze a 5 out of 10. I hope. I don't know. I hope he turns it around against Brighton on Saturday. But as of right now, man, I think he's gonna have to come off the bench. I think Odegaard is probably gonna be the starter. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. We got Gabriel Martinelli. You know, Gabriel Martinelli, man. That first like half. Woohoo! That fullback was on toast. He was cooking, bro. He was cooking that fullback. I can't lie. That's one of the best Gabriel Martinelli performances I've seen this season. And in a while, you know. The only issue that I felt bad for him is, well, I felt bad for him for 2 reasons. The first one was that nobody was scoring the balls he was putting in the box, man. Like, Gabriel Jesus, whoever it was, I was like, man, what, like, Gabriel Martinelli is playing out of his mind, and you're not helping him with an assist? What is going on? So I was a little bit worried about that. Yeah, and yeah, like you said, hopefully Martinelli isn't injured. Yeah, I hope so too, man. Like, I saw in there that Arteta brought him on after halftime, even though he clearly was injured at the end of the first half. I was not happy about that. I can't lie. I was like, you could clearly see he was in discomfort. You know, maybe he told them that he was okay to go, but clearly he wasn't okay to go. You had to sub him off. You know, like, these are the kind of things that we end up having long-term injuries, right? Like, you look at the Saliba one where at Anfield, Arteta decides that, yeah, Saliba is good enough to train, even though he clearly was having discomfort during the pre-warm-ups. And then he has to come off, like, 10 minutes into the game, and the next thing you know, he's out for, like, a few months. Like, we got to do a little bit better in handling our injuries, man. Like, come on. Yeah. K-Dog says, first time here, you got a nice vibe, bro. Hey, appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You know, Arsenal, you know, supporting them sometimes, it just gives me a heart attack, but I love the team, and I like to do content. So, yeah, if you guys can give me a like and a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, I do hope that Martinelli's not injured, man, because, like, it's like whenever a player on Arsenal finds form and, like, starts to play really well, that's when they get injured. Remember Gabriel Jesus last year against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup? Was it the Carabao Cup? I believe, or was it? I think he had just played well against them in the Carabao Cup. Then he played against Man United in the FA Cup, and then he got injured. And I was like, he was just getting to form, and then he's out for a whole year. I hope it's not a bad injury, but with our track record, man, we're gonna hear, oh yeah, it's just a small little, tweak, and then next thing you know, he's out for like 6 months. It's like, what's small about that, But I thought Martinelli was pretty good. I was very close to giving him the man of the match. I think he's up there. I'm gonna have to give him a 7 out of 10. That was a really good performance from Martinelli. It sucks that he didn't, it didn't lead to a goal. I don't think it was his fault. I think he was putting in the deliveries into the box. It just, the players in there weren't finding the back of the net, which is unfortunate. But I'm gonna give him a 7, maybe even a 7. I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. He was pretty solid. Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus, man. Okay, I'm gonna have to say this. If you put the striking ability, right, like the ability to be able to find the back of the net of Gyökeres, like the goal scoring ability of Gyökeres, and the technical ability and hold up play of Gabriel Jesus, and you fused it into one player, prime Thierry Henry. Oh, okay. Whoa, okay. Maybe I'm going a little too far. But the qualities that Gyökeres is missing is the qualities that Gabriel Jesus has. And the qualities that Gabriel Jesus is missing is what Gyökeres has. It's like split in the middle. They got 50% of what each one needs. Right? Gyökeres can strike the ball. He can score goals, right? But he can't hold up the ball. He doesn't seem to be able to find himself in positions of goal scoring. Gabriel Jesus holds up the ball really well, finds himself in good scoring positions, can't find the back of the net. It's like it sucks. But if Gabriel Jesus and Victor Gyökeres could fuse into one player, we're winning the Premier League with ease, bruh. With ease. I don't want to hear nothing about no city or nothing. Gabriel Jesus, man, I don't know what I would give him. Like, I thought there was a few. He had good chances, man. Especially like the passes from Martinelli. I'm gonna have to give him like a 5.5 out of 10 for that, man. He was a bit frustrating, and I thought he should have done way better than what he did. 5.5 out of 10, maybe 6 out of. 5.5 out of 10. I mean, I always forget how frustrating of a finisher Gabriel Jesus is until he plays, and I'm like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, 5.5 out of 10. Nani Madueke. Oof. Nani Madueke, man. I don't know. If I'm being honest, we might be in trouble. Arsenal Football Club might be in trouble. Because all the players we've bought this summer, bar Zubimendi, don't seem like they will be able to trouble any of the established players we have. That includes Eze and Odegaard, Nani Madueke and Saka. Zubimendi's really the only one. Gyökeres is on a thin rope. If Kai Havertz comes back, he might be on the bench. Nani Madueke, I truly, like, the first couple games he played, I was like, oh my god. Like, this guy has pace. He has technical abilities. He's able to get past his defender. Once he gets going and gets his end product in, Saka might be in trouble. How stupid of me, bro. Nani Madueke. Have you guys ever watched those videos on like TikTok or like or Instagram or whatever of like I think it's like the Turkish guy with like the ice cream cones, right? Where like you're holding an ice cream cone and they keep like messing with you so you never actually have the ice cream cone in your hand. That's Nani Madueke, bro. The guy is phenomenal. He gets past his man. You know, he can do step overs. He can do this, that, and that. He can whatever. He gets... And then, it's like, okay, Nani, you got past your man. Yes, Nani, you were able to dribble past this. You're able to do that. Okay, cross the ball in, Nani. Or shoot the ball, Nani, score. Nothing. I'm like, what is going on? The guy is like the greatest baiter ever. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, your end product. If it was just slightly better, we would have a generational winger. But like, he does a lot of da 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 da, and then anticlimactic, da 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 da, and then anticlimactic. God, if again, like what I said about Gabriel Jesus and Victor Gyökeres, if you add Saka's like finishing abilities, assists, all that, and you fused it in with Nani Madueke's pace and ability to beat his man and like his technical ability and all that, you have prime Ronaldo. Prime Ronaldo. No, time out. Prime Ronaldinho. Okay? If you have Nani Madueke's strong attributes and you have Saka's strong attributes and you put them together, that is the greatest on the wing I've seen in the Premier League. But unfortunately, we got them split up into two different players. Sucks, but I'm going to give Nani Madueke, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10, probably. I thought, there's just more you could have provided us. You know, like, I don't know if you're playing to your full potential, brother, but yeah, Nani Madueke, man. If Saka could just take Nani Madueke to the side and be like, hey, this is how you finish. This is how you get an end product. We might be talking about a generational player here. But unfortunately not, you know. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. The bench, Bukayo Saka. Very good. Very productive when he came in. Provided not the assists. I feel so bad for Saka, man. Because in today's day and age, it's all about goals and assists, right? Goals and assists, right? It's like people don't watch football with their eyes anymore. So when Saka, like, especially against like the Wolves game, right? He technically should have 2 assists, but because they were own goals by a Wolves player, he doesn't get the assist for that, even though he created those chances that caused the own goals. It's kind of the same thing with today's game, right? Where he was the one who technically created the opportunity that led to the goal for us, but it won't show up as an assist because we didn't score, right? So that's unfortunate. But I thought Saka was really good. I'm going to give him I'll probably give him like a 6 out of 10. He came in for 25 minutes. Solid. Martin Odegaard. Look, I am so sorry. I'm going full screen. Martin Odegaard, I am so sorry how I disrespected you when we got Eze. I was like, you are not making the team again. I lied. You are probably going to be our starter for the rest of the season in almost every competition. I'm so sorry. I apologize, my friend. I'm gonna give Odegaard. I thought he was pretty lively when he came on, pretty solid. I'd give him maybe a 6 out of 10. Also, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. No, because if I give Saka a 6 out of 10, then I gotta give Odegaard a 6 out of 10. But I'd probably give Saka a 6.5 out of 10, just because that was what led to that. Saliba, man of the match. Yeah, I would agree. It was, I think Saliba for sure. Calafiori wasn't bad though. Calafiori was pretty solid too. I can't lie, but I would probably lean towards Saliba if Martinelli had played a little bit longer and had not come off injured and had gotten an assist like he deserved. I probably would have given the man of the match to Martinelli because he was cooking. He was cooking that fullback, bro. I mean, what was the name of this guy? Hold on, let's look for the fullback's name. Is it Richard? No, it was this guy. Canvot? Was it this guy, Canvot? Yeah, JD Canvot, French player. I am so sorry, my friend. You are getting cooked live on national television in like 30 different countries. Yeah, the guy was cooking. No, sorry, he was getting cooked by Martinelli, man. Yeah, I would have given Martinelli the man of the match, but I would give it to Saliba just because he was there longer, more impactful in the whole game. But yeah, like I honestly, I hope we can see this Martinelli again, in like a much more impactful game, right? Like a Champions League game or whatever. Because like sometimes I'm like, Martinelli, you have this ability, man. I believe in you. You have this ability. You're from Brazil, favelas, what is it called? The good football. Joga Bonito, that's what it's called. Joga Bonito. Like, come on. I believe in you, brother. You know, and you see like you see like examples of this where it's like, holy cow, dude, like this is a guy who could easily start for Brazil. You know, I just need him more. I just need him more. But yeah, Martinelli looked very good, Mohamed. He was pretty solid. Yeah, I would probably put him as the second best player on the field that night, after Saliba. Yeah, Saliba just slightly better, just because he was in the game much longer than Martinelli. Leandro Trossard was pretty solid when he came on. I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10. He was there. He was contributing. He was pretty solid. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Declan Rice, yeah, he was pretty good. He was only, I think Declan Rice was in the match for like maybe 15 minutes at most. So really didn't get much chance to do quite a lot. I guess 5.5 out of 10. Didn't really do too much. But I'll be honest, I was not happy when Declan Rice came in because why? Like, why do you need Declan Rice to play? Give him the full rest. The guy plays every single game. Let him rest. Like, you bring him around for 10 minutes. You know, why? But yeah, I was pretty solid. So, like I said earlier in the stream, my main concern is Martinelli. I haven't heard any news yet in regards to his possible injuries. But looking at the, let me see if Arteta said anything about Martinelli. I don't believe he did. Oh, here we go. He did. Okay, I lied. Here we go. Martinelli is more of a knock. Oh, okay. And he wasn't comfortable to carry on after the second half. With Piero, yeah, something different because he picked up an injury against Everton. Okay, so it seems like it was just a knock for Martinelli. I guess, and yeah, because if you watch the game live, he had the little impact with the other Crystal Palace player on the knee, so it was kind of assumed that it was a knock. I was just hoping it wasn't an injury to his knee or anything like that, but with a knock, I'm hoping that he'll be back by next week, hopefully. Because you know how it is. Arteta will say, "Oh, this player, it was just a knock," and the next thing you know, he's out for like 2 months. So I'm hoping it truly is just a knock, and it's not anything too serious, and that he can carry on. I truly think that Martinelli is. I don't know. He seems like he might be finding some sort of. I don't know if it's too early to say, but he seems to be he's getting in his groove. He's starting to get in his groove, and he's starting to get it all put together. I would really hope that he doesn't have a major problem that would make him be out for I don't know, 2 or 3 months, like what happens with every Arsenal player that has a knock. But yeah, it seems like Pierre Hincapié is he's really injured, and he picked it up against Everton, so that is unfortunate. Let's see here. Yeah, but regardless, man, if Martinelli is injured for a while, bro, you got to give Ethan Nwaneri a possibility to play. I say Ethan Nwaneri's he's got to be able to play at least a few more games. If not, then it is time to sell him. Or not sell him. Sorry, no, don't sell him. Loan him to another club. Whether it's Brighton or, I don't know, Fulham. Loan Ethan Nwaneri to one of these clubs. Give him an opportunity. Give Ethan Nwaneri the opportunity to get his game, improve his game. My message to Arteta, please, if you are not going to play him at least 25 to 30 minutes every few games, then loan him to another club at the beginning of the year and let him develop his game. And then, if you like what you see, bring him back. He could be a starter or a very impactful player off the bench, like how Trossard was. Please, Mikel Arteta, do not do Ethan Nwaneri dirty like that. He does not deserve this. He deserves to play. You gotta fit him somehow into this team. That's pretty much all I got for Arteta. Yeah, but it was a good game. Let's look at our next few games. Okay, so we just played Crystal Palace. We got Brighton on Saturday. And then we have Aston Villa on Tuesday. So those are our last two games of 2025. Brighton is at home, I believe. Yes, it's at home. Their form has been a little bit iffy, right? They won. They have not won a game in 4. They've lost 2, drawn 2. And I believe one of those was to Liverpool, and then I forgot. I think they drew to, was it Bournemouth, if I'm not mistaken? So this is our opportunity to kind of create some separation, possibly. I don't know who Man City are playing, but I do hope that we are able to pull away from the rest of the pack. The Villa game will be the most important one, because I know people don't like to say it, but if you're within a game, which is 3 points from the league leaders, you are in a title race. Until you are no longer within a game of the league leaders, then you can say, okay, maybe they're not in a title race. Aston Villa is 3 points behind us, and people are saying they're not in a title race. They are. They are. It is almost halfway through the season, and they are 3 points away from us. We have to take them serious. When they come over to the Emirates, we have to beat them. And beat them convincingly to show the world that we are true title contenders. We have to. Yeah. So these two games are very important. And obviously, Bournemouth will be the first game of 2026. I think if we win these two games, it will give us a kind of a good spirit to going into the Bournemouth and Liverpool game. And obviously we have FA Cup and then the EFL Cup. So we have a packed schedule here, folks. So let's try to win some games. Because if you look at the standings now, see what I mean? Like Aston Villa, they're 3 points away from us. I don't know who Man City has. I believe they have Nottingham Forest. I think who just lost to Fulham, so I don't really expect much. Then they have Sunderland, but this is a Sunderland team that does not have a lot of their players because of AFCON. And then they have Chelsea. So this is going to be a really crucial game because if we have won both of our games if we've won against Bournemouth, Brighton, and Aston Villa, and somehow they draw this game or lose it, that could be very helpful for us. So we'll see. Yeah, so that's all from me, folks. Thank you very much for joining me on this live. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked the live stream, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Share with your family. If you're an Arsenal fan, whatever. Or if you're not, and if you just liked hearing me ramble, that's also okay. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all who watched the stream. And I hope all of y'all have a wonderful day.